Week 17 of the fantasy basketball season. Here's a few guards I look to buy and trade for this week. The first guard, Russell Westbrook of the Denver Nuggets. So Westbrook, it's been a decent first year for him, I think, with this Nugget team. But obviously his numbers have dropped off over the last couple weeks, and injuries have played a factor as well on the year. 12.8 points a game, 5 boards, 6.3 assists, 1.4 steals, 1.2 threes, and 46% from the field. So we know Westbrook, he's at the latter part of his NBA career now here with the Denver Nuggets is Westbrook. But I still believe he could be a player that can help fantasy owners, and he's someone that could give you a few categories. I know field goal and turnover, he's going to hurt you in, but scoring, even three-point shooting at times, and rebounding and assisting, we know he could do. So the last couple of weeks, like I said, the numbers have dropped. 10.7 points a game, 3.3 boards, 4.3 assists, 1.3 threes, and 34% from the field for Westbrook. So like I said, he missed a bunch of games before the All-Star break, and now the 3 games since the break ended February 20th versus the Hornets, 8 points, 3 boards, 7 assists to 3, 30% from the field. February 22nd versus the Lakers, 17 points, 4 boards and assists, 3 threes, 41% from the field. On February 24th at the Pacers, 7 points, 3 boards, 5 assists, 25% from the field. This Nugget team, I know they got blown out from the Lakers, but they have won 10 out of 11. And Westbrook, he's getting that 25-minute mark still. He's playing for this Denver Nugget team. And I think if the minutes could go up just a little bit like they were early in the season, we could see him score 15 a game, about 4 or 5 boards a game, 5-6 assists, with a 3.5 a game. So I think Westbrook right now, well, the numbers have been down. And like I said, he missed a bunch of games before the All-Star break. He's an easy buy low candidate. And if you want to just get him off the waiver wire as well, he's out there right now in 37% of fantasy leagues. Next guard, Mikal Bridges of the New York Knicks. So Bridges, he's been on the list a lot this season here, and he's definitely struggled, and this New York Knicks team has struggled versus good teams this season, even though overall they're the 3rd best team in the Eastern Conference on the season. For Bridges, 17.5 a game, 3.2 boards, 3.3 assists, a steal, 2.3 threes a game, and 48% from the field. So I know they gave 5 first-round picks up in a deal for him in the offseason, and obviously he's not living up to that hype for the 5 first round. There's no doubt about it. But a lot of Knicks fans wanted Bridges going into this season, and they got him, and now the fan base looks like they're turning on him. And to be honest, his numbers aren't far off. 2 points a game, he's down only 0.4 threes. His field goal percentage is better, and even his assist numbers are the same. So pretty much his rebounding and scoring has gone down from last year to this year, where arguably he's the 3rd or 4th option in this offense. Obviously 3rd at best behind Brunson and Towns. In the last couple weeks, like I said, the numbers have dropped. 13 a game, 3.5 boards, 3.8 assists, a steal, a block, 1.5 threes, and 46% from the field. So like I said, Knicks fan base has turned on Mikal Bridges. Some of these games late, especially the last 2 games and blowout losses at the Cavs and the Celtics, he put up some numbers towards the end when the game was out of hand. February 20th versus the Bulls, 13 points, 10 boards, 5 assists, 2 blocks, a 3, 37% from the field. February 21st at the Cavs, 14 points, a rebound, 5 assists, a steal, 2 threes, 46% from the field. And February 23rd at the Celtics, 14 points, an assist, a steal, 2 threes, 46% from the field. So Bridges, in terms of real life, I know, like I said, people are frustrated that end of games he gets his points when it's garbage time, and it didn't matter over the last 2 games in 2 big matchups. But like I said, for fantasy basketball, he's still going out there, he's still putting up decent numbers. And right now, well, there's obviously fans against him, and they think he's not living up to the hype in fantasy basketball circles. He's still been playing well, and he's a good buy low guard this week. And the 3rd and final guard I look to buy and trade for is Fred VanVleet of the Houston Rockets. Of VanVleet, I thought he would have been back by now after the All-Star break with the ankle injury, and he was questionable going into yesterday's game, and then he was downgraded to out. So we haven't seen VanVleet in the lineup now since February 3rd. So all of February was a lost month here for VanVleet on the season. Still a decent year, 14.6 points a game, 3.9 boards, 5.8 assists, 1.6 steals, 2.7 threes, and 38% from the field. So VanVleet, I know his scoring's dropped off. We know this Houston Rocket team, they've gotten better this season from last year. And it's just a group of guys scoring the basketball, not just one main star on this roster. And that's why they're one of the better teams in the Western Conference. They share the basketball, they got good ball movement, and a lot of players get involved. Where VanVleet, we know in his career, he's a lot of ISO, quick shooting, 3-point shots, and stuff like that. But he's still a player I think could come back for this Rocket team and could come back and help fantasy owners. So right now, while he's been on the shelf, even though I believe he could be back sooner than later in this lineup, this would be a perfect time to go out there and get him as Van Vliet. Because like I said, next week, trade deadline in most fantasy basketball leagues. And Van Vliet, if you need 3-point shooting, scoring, and assist, he still can help fantasy owners and steals in that category, where turnovers and obviously field goal and infinite points per game have dropped a little bit. But I still will go out there and get Van Vliet. Well, right now he's on a discount, so that's a few guards I look to buy and trade for Week 17 of the fantasy basketball season.